So Rule 1 under IRR PD 957. Rule 1 Minimum Design Standards. Section 1 Design Standards for Subdivision. Residential subdivision projects shall conform with the following minimum design standards applicable local government units zoning ordinances as well as pertinent provisions of the National Building Code if project is with housing component. A. Site criteria. 1. Location. Conformity with zoning ordinance comprehensive land use plan. Subdivision projects shall be located in residential zones or other areas appropriate for residential uses. If there is no zoning ordinance or approved comprehensive land use plan, the dominant land use principle and site suitability factors cited herein shall be used in determining suitability of a project. Subdivision projects supportive of other major urban activities, e.g., housing for individual workers, may be allowed in area zoned for the said urban activities. 2. Physical suitability. Subdivision projects shall be located within suitable sites for housing and outside hazard-prone areas and protection areas as provided for by pertinent laws. Critical areas, e.g., areas subject to flooding, landslides, and those with unstable soil must be avoided. The site shall be stable enough to accommodate foundation load without excessive earth moving, grading, or cutting and filling. 3. Accessibility. The site must be served by a road that is readily accessible to public transportation lines. Said access road shall conform with the standards set herein to accommodate expected demand caused by the development of the area. In no case shall a subdivision project be approved without the necessary access road right of way. Said access road right of way may be constructed either by the developer or the local government unit. B. Planning considerations. 1. Area planning. Planning and designing of subdivision projects shall take into account the following. A. Safety and general welfare of the future occupants. B. Adequate, safe, efficient, and integrative road circulation system servicing every lot therein. C. Judicious allocation of land uses for diversity and amenity. D. Preservation of site. E. Proper siting and orientation of lots. F. Harmony with existing and proposed development in the vicinity. G. Application of workable design principles or parameters for a well-planned and self-sustaining environment. When the developer or planner submits a planned unit development PUD type of project, the layout shall likewise conform to the standards for residential condominium projects. A. Open spaces. Open spaces shall conform to the provisions of PD 1216 and its implementing rules and shall include the following. 1. Streets. Adequate and safe means of vehicular and pedestrian circulation and easement for utilities and planting strips shall be provided. 2. Walks. Paved walks shall be provided to the living units from streets, parking spaces, and from living units to play area. 3. Parks and playground. Suitable recreational areas shall be allocated within the subdivision. Where applicable, a hierarchy of such recreational areas may be provided for such that a strategically located main park area is supplemented or complemented by one or more smaller pockets or areas for recreational use. These areas must be accessible to living units and free from any form of hazard or risk. Said parks and playgrounds shall be cleared and free from any debris. Parks and playgrounds are as much as possible shall be at street level. B. Facilities and amenities. Areas required for subdivision facilities and amenities shall be judiciously allocated in accordance with the provisions herein specified. C. Density. Density of subdivision project shall conform with the residential densities set forth in the zoning ordinance of the city, municipality where project is located. Where there is a mixture of housing types within the subdivision, such as single, detached, row house, townhouses, etc., density shall include the total number of dwelling units in multi-story structure plus the total number of lots intended for single and semi-detached houses. Number two, site preservation. A. Slope. The finished grade shall have a desired slope to allow rainwater to be channeled into street drains. Where cut and fill is necessary, an appropriate grade shall be attained to prevent any depression in the area. Grading and ditching shall be executed in a manner that will prevent erosion or flooding of adjoining properties. B. Preservation of site assets. Suitable trees with a caliper diameter of 200 millimeters or more, shrubs, and desirable ground cover per Department of Environment and Natural Resources rules shall be preserved. Where a good quality topsoil exists in the site, it shall be banked and shall be preserved for finishing grades of yards, playgrounds, parks, and garden area. C. Cover. Grass, shrubs, plants, and other landscaping materials used for ground cover shall be of a variety appropriate for its intended use and location. They shall be planted so as to allow well tended cover of the area. 3. Easement. Subdivision projects shall observe and conform to the following provisions on easements as may be required by A. Chapter 4, Section 51 of the Water Code on Water Bodies. B. National Power Corporation on Transmission Lines. C. PhilVocs per Resolution number 515, Series of 1992 on Identified Fault Traces. D. Other public utility companies and other entities right of way. E. National local government units for projects abutting national roads, primary roads, where adequate easement shall be provided for, including loading and unloading areas. F. Other related laws. 4. Circulation. Depending on the classification of roads adjacent to the subdivision and the size of the project site, road network should result into a hierarchy of functions and should define and serve the subdivision as one integrated unit. A. Roads complemented with pathwalks within the subdivision must be so aligned to facilitate movement and to link the subdivision to the nearest major transportation route and or adjacent property. Whenever there are existing roads within the project site which shall be made part of the subdivision plan, these shall be improved in accordance with the standards set forth herein. B. Streets should conform to the contours of the land as far as practicable. Where a proposed project adjoins a developed property, roads within the said project shall be connected, integrated, aligned with existing ones. Where a proposed project adjoins undeveloped property, a provision for future connection shall be mandatory. C. As far as practicable, streets shall be laid out at right angles to minimize critical intersections such as blind corners, skew junction, and etc. D. Roads shall conform to sound engineering practices. E. Subdivision projects shall comply to the pertinent requirements of Batas Pambansa number 344, otherwise known as the Accessibility Law. 5. Installation of street names and signs. The developer shall bear the cost of installation of street name sign coincident with the construction of streets.